Good evening. Welcome to a Friday Liveday Night Owl edition. Hope you guys are all doing good. You wonderful gents and ladies. We got HTL in the house. J-Mac, our man. Paul. Ruben. How you guys all doing? Joe, Mr. Manzi. You got 20 minutes for us, HTL? Love you too, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. Anyone here have a solution for using fiber rotary with glassware? So the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, if you have a hardware store near you, or if maybe you have it laying around, the little foam strips you use to stick in like window frames to stop like the breeze from coming through, or in door sills. They're usually sticky backed. It's like squishy foam. You can stick those on the rotary chuck. And rubber cabinet door bumpers, like HTL said, that's a good idea too. No go on that? Sorry, man. It's worth a try. Another option is you can, if it's a glass, you can support from the other side, like stack some cardboard underneath the other edge of it just so it's supported, so the weight's not hanging off of it, and the rotary should still turn it. Hey Timothy, how's it going? Waiting on your X tool. Oh, hopefully it comes in soon, man. I know how it is to wait on a new toy. It's not a K40. X Tool D1 Pro is I believe it comes in 10 and 20 watts for the Pro model. It's a diode laser. So 10 or 20 watts, take with a grain of salt. It's still a diode, not a CO2, but they're still pretty awesome from what I've heard. Yeah, we're playing with Slate tonight. I don't think we've done Slate yet, so I have a stack of Slate to play with you guys. So it's been quite a while since I've played with it myself, and I have a couple settings I want to try out for getting different colors on it, and figured I'd have a good time with you guys on that. Hey, Mindful, have a good time with us, man. We're gonna have a good time. Nice, waiting on mine to come in the mail. Any cool ideas on your mind? Sky's the limit with projects, man. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Yeah. It's going to be a group party, man. We're all going to be playing with Slate. So, I have two kinds of Slate. Can you engrave a ring for me? I can't because I don't have a ring. Let me rephrase that. The one ring I do have, I'm not engraving. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. If you're excited to hang out, have a good time. So, I have two kinds of Slate. So here's the other reason for tonight's test. This Slate, you can see my oily fingerprint on it. These are from Michaels. So I got four, they come in 4-packs, or you can buy them in bulk and they're still wrapped in 4-packs. I think I got these for like $3 and change for 4, so a little under $1 a piece. After tax, it was pretty much $1 a piece. And we got these. This is actually from our buddy Patrick from the care package he sent. This is from JDS. and they're roughly the same price. These are maybe a little bit more, but they're roughly the same. Yeah, sorry H, I don't have a ring to do any testing with. I also don't have a ring rotary, so that's the second issue. Not on hand anyway. Can't see anything. Can you guys confirm if you can see me? Oh, okay, cool. He had to restart. Yeah, we're good. Hey, Richie. Good to have you. Thanks for hanging out. Yay, another live. Thanks for keeping me company while I study. Hey, get that studying in. No, we're not going to be pre-treating on stream. So, the JDS ones come coated from my understanding. You'll notice it actually doesn't show any fingerprints. So it's not actively soaking up my skin oil. Any chance you're trying Slate with the UV? I don't have a UV in the shop yet. Maybe soon. But someday. We'll get there. Amazon $12 for 20. I have a 50 watt JPT. Yep. So that's the thing with Slate. So if you go too slow, or if you pump the power really hard, or the line distance is too small, you will straight up turn this basically into like slate glass. It'll goober up right on the surface and yuck. That's not what you want on your slate coaster. It's a good way to have somebody break off a chunk and stab themselves while they're drinking their margarita. So that's the other thing. So I want to see what the quality difference is between the two, because this way I'll know where I'm going to be ordering my slate from if I ever need to do bulk orders. So burn some slate. That's the game plan. So let me pull up Lightburn. I'll show you guys what we're working with tonight. Vectors and rasters tonight. So some of the stuff I have prepped already is already vectorized. We can do some rasters though. I could also show you what I did to prep my vectors from rasters in some cases. Hey Kyle, I am also a Kyle into MOPA fiber lasers. Welcome in, Kyle. We're twinsies, sort of. Alright, yeah, we can do that. That's no problem. So let me show you guys what I'm working with here. Let me just get Lightburn opened up. Okay, so that's opened up, and we're just going to pull up the whole right screen. Can you hear me now? That was my bad. That was my bad. So, all right. So we're gonna start over. Sorry, guys. That was me. So what we're doing here, this is the design I came up with. Actually, you'll see more of this on our jig episode I did, or will be sharing for the CO2 in a little while. But the backstory is my brother runs a D&D game, and a couple of my friends participate. So this was kind of like theme stuff, just as gifts for people. And you'll see a toolpath here. That's for aligning it to the engraving. It just helps with sizing to make sure, you know, the elements of the design are falling into a reasonable size on the item. This is a raster image I just pulled off of Google, and this is just text. So what we can do is in Lightburn we can trace image, and now you'll notice we have image, fill, and tool. If I turn off show for the fill, I'm now on the image, and I can delete that. And now we have gone from a rasterized image to a vector image, or just a vector. So Lightburn is relatively easy for that. Now, if this was a little bit more of a complex design, let me go back. If this was a little more complex, you may find that you need to shift this to grab more of the design or less of the design, depending on what you're looking for. Because this is more of a threshold image, if we start messing with that, it's not going to come out great. But just as it is, works great. Oh, I did that twice. So, what did I miss? Yeah, smash that like button if you like hanging out. We're just chilling tonight. Nice little evening stream with some Q&A. So, yeah, Zach, that was my process for this one, man. Super easy, raster to vector right there. And to be honest, with Lightburn, you don't even really have to do that. And I guess one thing we can do, I will leave the so I have a vector layer here, and I also have a raster layer here. So what I can do is I can turn one off and on. I can turn them off and on, and we can compare what they'll look like, if you'd like. It shouldn't really be different, but yeah, I honestly, I have messed with Inkscape a bit, but it's pretty limited from my standpoint. I haven't spent a ton of time with it. Not Inkscape being limited, my use case being limited. I do need to go back to it at some point just to get more acquainted with it to help everybody out. But anyways, so let me turn on my camera. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to find my calipers. We're going to get a rough measurement on some of the slate. This should be about 4 inches, I think. And we'll start getting them under the laser. And then we'll talk about settings. Kelly, I didn't see you pop in. I hope you're feeling better, man. Hey, Miranda. Alright, what do we got here? We're going to call it 97 millimeters or 96 millimeters for the squares. Yes, what they said. So we do have an Inkscape 101. So if you're using Inkscape, which is relatively powerful and is free, or if you just need an art prep tool outside of what you use to engrave, check out that video. Definitely a must watch. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, I have this all grouped. I need to show that layer again so I can group it. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna ungroup it all actually. I'm gonna change the tool layer or tool path to reflect the size we want. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm going nuts. I'm sorry. Alright, there we go. P to center. So that is the size of our our slate. Found the line distance in my 300 had negligible effect, but big difference doing dithered image versus vector on Z-Mark and steel. Yes. That's the thing. So dithered images, you should more or less be adjusting that for the DPI you end up getting from doing like a if you watch the part 1 and part 2 photo episodes on the channel, you'll see the gradient test with Z-Mark, because you're making heat. I don't know how well. I haven't tried Z-Mark while doing an image like that, but that would be fun to play with. Maybe I could do that at some point. Not tonight. I don't think we have time for that tonight. No engraving, nothing fancy, just pure marking on black anodized aluminum cases. About the size of a credit card. I mean, realistically, you could do that with like a 20 watt if all you need to do is a general mark across the top. 20 watt with like a 110 lens, and you'd be fine. Or a 30 watt would probably not be much more expensive. Yep. Same boat as Alex. If that is your limited use case, that's what I would do. Check out the buying guide. No problem. Happy to help. Yes. So back to what we were working on. So we got our toolpath square here. We're going to highlight our items, and we're going to resize that. Now I'm holding Control because that resizes it from the center. Now if the toolpath square is the size of our slate, I don't want to be too close to the edge, because I'm showing you on the circle one because it's what's next to me, but there's jagged edges if you've never worked with slate before, and some of those can come pretty far in from the edge. So we're going to come in a bit. I think that's fair. Oh. just to give it a little safety. You watch the videos at 2x and now you're hearing us at normal speed. I can see how that'd be weird. So, as requested, so we're gonna mess with some vector and some raster. I'm not going to rasterize my text for the purposes of trying to stay on track tonight, but one thing we're gonna do as well, as promised, it would help if I was on the right machine device. So that helps. Group that in center. Oh, there's got to be more likes than that by now. Here, hold on. We're going to take a look. Oh yeah, we're up to 21 likes. But I'm seeing 35 viewers. You got some people out there not loving what they're seeing, I guess. How do you donate to the channel? Well, there's a couple ways, Tiny. I guess you could do it through YouTube if you wanted to. The other option is we'd rather you get something, right? I mean, granted, everything we can offer you, we share for free. We don't believe in hiding stuff behind paywalls. So realistically, if you watch every episode on the channel, you'll get everything we give. But if you go to LMA, so Laser Master Academy, Laser Everything just posted that in chat. We have a way of supporting the channel that way, and at least then you get some goodies. We have a compiled list of starting parameters to help you get set up with either your CO2 or your fiber laser. You were interested in getting a fiber, so that'll help get you going. And at least then, you know, you're getting some convenience out of donating, right? But again, you don't have to feel the need. We do our best to give everybody everything outside of, you know, no paywalls. We don't like that. Yes. So what Laser Everything said, if you feel so inclined, it helps us keep going, lets us do what we're doing full time, make educational content, test stuff, so you guys don't have to necessarily test so much, and reviews and all that. We're here to do our best to help everybody. Hell yeah on the bar exam, man. Good luck. I wish you the best. Alright, so now that we're resized, I'm ungrouping it. So, we're going to do a couple different colors here. So, this is the rough conversion. I've only ever done slate with my 110 lens. This is on my 200. So I have a dark gray, a light gray, a medium gray, and a white. And I ran this through. Night, J-Mac. How's it going, bro? Get some sleep. It's like 4 a.m. for you. I ran this through the converter. So this will also be a testament to our buddy David's conversion program that he created. So the dice in the middle here, I want to run dark gray. And we'll do text on the top as medium gray, because why not? We'll do the bottom text as light gray. We're still on, man. ECFD, we are here. Oh, it would help if I was showing you guys what I was doing. You guys gotta call me out on that. So what I did here, I'm assigning this this layer here. We're going dark gray. Okay. the text on top, we are applying, well, first we need to give it a different color. And we're applying medium gray. Text on the bottom, light gray, after we change the color. Now, we're not going to use the raster, so I'm turning off the image layer. Yeah, it would help to show you guys. So this is what I'm using. This is my dark color. Line interval of 0.02, so that's the same as line distance. We leave lines per inch alone because that's adjusted by line interval. Speed of 3000, power 45, frequency 200, Q pulse 200. There's already a video of, well, not specifically of that, but we have a basic fiber jig episode out on the channel. I put that up, I think 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So check that out. That will give you a very good method of getting started with the fiber jigs for a coin. If you have like a 110 lens, you could easily fit like 4 coins in to a jig if you wanted to. Thanks for linking that. Yep. So that's our dark gray. Or I'm sorry, yeah, that's our dark gray. This is our image layer, so we're skipping that. I believe the blue was our medium gray. So 1500 speed, 45 frequency, 200 Q pulse, 75 power, 0.02 for line space again. And our light gray, 3000 speed, 45 power, 200 frequency, 200 Q pulse, 0.02 line distance. So that's it. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't remember if I saved everything. One sec. Let me double check something. No, we're good. Alright. We're going with it. Send it. Alright. Oh, right. The other thing. So, what we're going to do, I'm also going to fiddle with some depth. So, I'm going to crosshatch these. Because why not? So, in theory, the crosshatching should just, the way it's set up, and the way I was using it on my 110, it would just dig down and give it a little depth so it was below the surface. It gives it a nice place for like the moisture off the cup or whatever to fall into the coaster. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to start framing, and we will switch you over to the web. Let me switch back. Because you have mark selected on. Cut select graphics. Same thing as mark selected in EasyCAD. So if we turn that off and go back to the webcam. I did it again. Yep, I got you. Thank you. Alright. So. So the nice thing about slate, slate's a very imperfect material. It cracks apart when they're getting it. So the nice thing about it is you don't have to get it perfectly lined up, because they're almost never going to be perfect. It's a very natural thing, so don't feel bad about it. So we are going to give this a go. If you guys have any questions or anything going on you want to talk about, just throw it in chat while we watch this have fun. How did I prep the slate? I did not. I did not, yeah. No, this is just as I got it from Michaels. So this particular slate I got from Michaels as a 4-pack. It was like $3 and change before tax. So by the time I was done paying for it, it was probably like $4 and change. $1 each, basically. Any recommendations on sourcing materials to engrave for testing? Hunt around. If you're just using it for testing, check out like if you have a Goodwill near you or anything like that. If you have any metal supply shops near you, if you're working on like a fiber. You could pick up metal from like any machine shops that might have scrap. So that's actually how I ended up with a fair amount of stainless steel for testing on my fiber. See if you can get buddy with some machine shops. See if they'll sell you some squares of scrap. Dollar store's great. Very good point. Teach me the guitar. Another thing is I actually was just going through Walmart the other day, and they had stainless steel kitchen knives. I don't know the quality or even what they're made out of, like what grade of steel, or if it's just plated junk, but for 97 cents you can't really go wrong. So fair amount of flat area to try that out. So that'll be a weekend project for me after I get my work done, and I can report back on that next time we stream, or if you tag me in the Discord, I'll let you know how that goes. Walmart's great for that kind of stuff. Let's see, what else? I can't think of anything else. But let's check out the slate. I don't know. Didn't really get the depth I wanted. Let's run it again, just because. I'm hitting it again, man. Yeah. Get a little more depth out of it. Focal length for a 110 lens, you want to make a stick. It's entirely different for everybody, so I could figure out what mine is and tell you, but it's going to be different for you and different for everybody else. Even if we all had the same 110 lens from the same manufacturer, it would be a little different. A couple of millimeters off, and it makes a big difference. Steel quality and Z-mark corrosion resistance seems to be a direct correlation. have a direct correlation. Light burn test material and a dishwasher are really helpful. So yes. So the other piece of that too is I've seen a lot of people lately do a Z-mark, and it wasn't far enough out of focus. And what it was doing was it was ablating the material. A Z-mark should pretty much be silent. You're basically burning the surface of the material, not ablating it. If you're doing any ablations, you're eating into the material. But you do have a point, yes. Different makeups of steel too. So not even just the qualities, but like the I guess you'd call it grading. But yes. Seems my galvo head isn't level. No, it's level. I'll switch. It's just the lighting back there is terrible. And webcam. So, let me see if I can get that to focus. So, remember that top one, I think we did. Let me double check. Yeah, so the top layer we did dark, and then we did medium and light going down the line. Did pretty good on the dark. See if I can get it to pick up better. The medium and the light on this slate isn't really popping off too different, so I may have to fiddle with that or just go with my white setting. Yeah, got some depth on that dark one. Totally missed that. We'll do it again. So, now, let's do a raster. So I've heard of 3 methods for slate: paint it black and zap it, clear coat it and zap it, finally sand it to 2000 and zap it. There's options. Most of the people I know usually you do like a lacquer or clear coat on it. I've never treated any of the slate that I've done. But I mean, everybody has their own method. It's a little different. Untreated slate, just to point it out again, if you look at the top next to my finger, you see those dark marks? I just washed my hands before stream. That's just from the oil on my skin. It got sucked right out of it. So, untreated slate will absolutely suck up everything around it. But for example, I can touch the hell out of the surface of this one, but this has like a clear coat on it from JDS. So that was the other reason why we were messing with slate tonight, is I wanted to check out the difference on that. So some people don't care, especially if I know a lot of people just leave their slate outside. Not great for it for longevity, but if it's treated, it may look better for longer, but then you have to account for, if you're leaving it in the sun, the UV will kind of eat away at it for the look of it. If I've never treated it myself, so I don't know what most people use, but my understanding is most people will use like a clear coat, yeah. If you buy it from JDS, it's already treated, so you don't have to worry about that. There's other brands that sell it treated already, but you can tell immediately. So when you grab it with your hand, if you still see fingerprints on it when you pull it away, it's not treated. If you don't see fingerprints, it's probably treated with something. Yep, if you treat it, it will also be a little darker, but I imagine too that could also depend on where you get it from. But okay, back to Lightroom. So we're gonna, as promised, we'll do a little bit of a raster as well. Turn that off and turn the image layer on. So we are in raster mode. I want to switch this. So for the sake of ease, I'm snipping tooling this so that I can pull the settings to another layer easier. So this is our image layer. Jarvis dither, we're going to change Jarvis, in this case, to threshold. The reason why we're doing that is because this isn't a dithered image. There is no scale to it. It's just black or it's white or just non-existent. Will a treated one burn differently, different shades? I don't know. It's part of what we're going to mess with tonight. Put polyacrylic on it and then burn it. I don't have any polyacrylic, but maybe I can do that another stream. I will mess with that. So I'm just using the snipping tool to take the settings from one layer and apply it to another because, fun fact, as of right now, I don't think you... Oh, let's try it. I don't think... Yeah, see, it's grayed out. So you can't take a vectorized setting that you saved and apply it to an image. So, does anyone offer a parameter library for a 50 watt? Yes, Laser Master Academy. Comes with a converter made by one of our community members, David, which is also free. Technically, if you dig through all the videos on the channel, all the settings are free there too. But if you want to support the channel, Laser Master Academy, John, thanks. Right, so we're applying settings to the image layer. 1500 speed, 75 power, 45 frequency, 0.02. And right, so that's why we're not using Jarvis. So threshold gives you nice clean cut lines, no specklies. And we don't want to negative the image because we want it to engrave the way it is. We're going to change this to do white, and we'll do medium. Get a little more color differentiation going. And I'm just going to go through and make sure crosshatch is on for all of these. No crosshatch on the image layer, so we're going to do 2 passes. Crosshatch, but that doesn't matter. All right. Any questions before we hit the start button? We're going to frame that up. Switching views. Matt is playing D&D right now. Well, Matt, you should make everybody some coasters, because that's what I'm doing. I don't have a jig for Slate. I don't really mess with Slate too often. I'm just doing a couple one-offs, so eventually I'll make a Slate for it. Technically, with my 200, I could do 4 of these slates at a time. The story is always the DM wins. Ouch. Alright. Let's start this up. I didn't see the poll. Let's see it. Would you watch a show where Kyle and I destroy high-ticket items while finding good settings? That is a landslide. Yes. Wow. Well, stay tuned, folks. I think maybe me and Alex are going to have to meet up and do some destruction. Jason says he'd only watch it if it was called The Pucker Factor. That seems like something that already exists. That sounds familiar. I don't know if we can use that. We'll have to see. Trogdor the Burninator. Yeah, we're gonna check out and see what it is. Admittedly, the light over at the laser station is not the greatest. Spoilers, Alex bought lab coats today. Destruction is imminent. Alright, let's go take a look. Make the webcam bigger, or hide this. 1 sec. So, it's almost looking a little glassy. And I kind of think I know why. So, this is I think what we've learned. Let me turn on the camera. I'm going to leave that one there because I think we're going to do a little destruction today. So, as it's big camera. As it's scanning across like this, the bottom tip and the top tip, backwards, the top tip, you'll notice there's nothing to the left and the right of it. And that's the reason why just this tip and just that tip are looking glassy on the one that's still on the laser. So we've learned something. Raster images have evenness problems, I guess. So I have a feeling that's the reason why. Just the tip, yes. J-Mac, I thought you went to bed. You sleepy, sleepy man. Alright, so not an affiliate left. Just the best brand out there. We do not. Yeah, no, absolutely. Can't sleep when you're depressed? Why? What? Are you depressed because you're not here hanging out with us while we live stream? Because if that's the case, I totally understand. Kyle, are you a dad? We'll have to see, is what my dad always says. I'm not a dad. At least not yet. Someday. But not today. I do have a solid background in dad jokes, though. So maybe that's where that's coming from. Team up with slow-mo guys. Laser ablation at 1 million FPS. I mean, that would be cool. Mark got a Mira 9. Hell yeah, Mark. It's a very cool machine. Alright, we're for sciencing. We're going to mark it again and see if just the tips turn to glass. Because why not? So what is everybody else doing on this fine Friday evening? Have a good one, Mark. Catch you later, man. Thanks for hanging out. Jason says, just chilling, sipping some whiskey and watching stream. Good to have you, man. You were up late last night engraving. Very cool. Smarter every day? Maybe. That'd be cool. I'm sure me and Alex would definitely be open to working with pretty much anybody interested. So... steel bottle openers, very cool. Alright. I'm going to turn off my head cam and take a better look at this. Let's see. So, yes. It started to glass over. The finish tone is amazing. I'll show you guys how to turn that on. I lifted my tower and my fiber 3.5 inches so I could use my 300 lens. Nice. Did you end up doing like little lift collars on the bolts and use longer bolts, or how did you do it? There's lots of little ways to do it. Some companies make little lift turnstiles for them and all kinds of cool stuff. But here, let me show you. So you'll notice the top was supposed to be medium gray. And after two coats of, or two passes of that through crosshatch twice, you'll see the more deep bits are glassed over a little bit. And also the bottom and top tip of the D20 dice is as well. Now, we did not get that. It was there before we did another pass, to be fair. We did not get that on the vectorized image. That came out much cleaner and as we'd expect. So, for science. Longer bolts with metal spacers. Very cool. So that's definitely the more, what seems like readily accessible way to do it. If you're on a weekend project and swing by the hardware store, it seems to be a pretty reliable way to go to. Yeah. right now the tall table I have it on, if I lift my z-axis, or the tower, 3.5 inches, I'd be hitting another shelf. And if I go to an 800 millimeter tower from the 500 I have, my tower would be going through my ceiling in my workshop. So I can't do it. Not with that table. I'd have to switch tables. Where are we? We don't need shelves. Where we're going, we don't need shelves. I don't know. I need shelves, man. Alright, so image is out. And now we know why we did a for science together. So downwards to the moon. Yeah. So we're back to this layer here, and I need to reapply the dark gray hatch to it. And for the giggles, because we're all about learning and doing stuff together, we know what it looks like when it does a normal engrave. But what if so I've disabled the image layer. We've gone back to the trace layer, which is yes, making glass with Kyle. This is probably going to make some level of glass, or it's going to look really deep and cool. Either way, I'm okay with it, because for science. So I'm going to make this let's do 5 passes. We'll do an auto increment of like, I don't know, 35. So what that's going to do is every time it completes a pass, it's going to do it 5 times, but every time it starts, it's going to start coming across that vector from a different angle, 35 degrees further around this 360 degree circle. So just so we're all on the same page, why not? We're going to frame that up. Can 3D UV do curved glass? Yes. Technically, so can 2D. UV has a very sensitive depth of field. So the here, let me turn on my camera. So UV lasers generally have a very sensitive depth of field. So the focal distance, if you imagine a hourglass, a laser beam comes down at an angle, and then it hits a focal point in the center, and then it starts making the bottom of the hourglass as it leaves focus. And there's a focal range where it will effectively mark consistently. So depending on how big the glass is, and how tight the curve is, you can do it with a 2D laser, a normal laser. Just depends. Alright, so wine glass? Yeah. So if you want an example of this, Alex has a 2D UV laser. A live stream that Alex and Miranda did, where Miranda was the primary host, they were doing perfume bottles. So if you want to see them do, it was through Project Mark. So if you want to see them do that, go back. I think it was in May. May or early June. Check that out. I'm pretty sure it was May or early June. But he's done them on the channel before, so if you just do a channel search for UV, I'm sure it'll come up. But okay, we're gonna start it, see what it looks like. And you can already tell the bottom of that D20 looks way more consistent as a vector than a raster. Is the glass smooth after a UV burn? It's very similar to a sandblast glass. So if you're old enough to drink and you've been to a liquor store, you might have seen some of those higher priced bottles of alcohol, or the collectible, like, limited ones with that really beautiful, like a scotch or bourbon or whiskey with the really beautiful white lettering on glass. A lot of those are done with a UV. Some of them aren't. Some of them are sandblasted, and some of them are just vinyl. You can tell the vinyl ones. They look plasticky. But that's what it looks like. So if you're looking for something to compare it to and you don't have anybody near you with a UV, there you go. It's relatively smooth. If Alex is still around, maybe he can weigh in on his thoughts on that. Making glass with Kyle. The slate is so matte and non-reflective that it really just doesn't show up great on the webcam, does it? Let's take a look. Let me hide this camera so it doesn't block anything. You guys should call the episode Burning Shit. I'm open to whatever. Matt says Breaking Bad. Coats, goggles, underwear. I don't know about that. We gotta keep it YouTube friendly. Is $5,096 a good price for a 5-watt UV laser? Honestly, I don't know, because I haven't looked into pricing on a UV for myself recently. I'm not sure. If you want a good reference point, if you go to the channel buying guide, there's a link in the description below. Alex's UV from Mactron is on there, so at least that'll give you a good starting point in terms of a kind of a top tier UV machine. The specs on my marker. This is a 60 watt JPT M7 source, built by Wisely Laser. So currently I'm using the 200 millimeter lens. It also came with a 110 and a rotary, a standard rotary, not a ring rotary. And a link for that is also in the description if you want to check out the details in writing. Yeah. Burning expensive dookie. Yep. So we did not make glass. We failed. So one thing we could do. Yeah. I'm going to grab another coaster. We're going to throw it under there, and we're going to tighten up the line distance, and we're going to show you guys what slate turning into glass looks like, because for science. In 1 sec. So I had a nice broken one there that I'm happy to destroy. So let me switch back to Lightburn. So for the giggles, we're going to tighten this line distance up. Can you cut through a coaster? How deep can you go before we get glass? So technically you could. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. And this is why. Let me switch to I made a mistake. Any guesses? This is what happens when you laser things at night. I forgot to focus. So that could have affected everything we just did. So yeah, it's going to be messy. You're going to end up with a lot of like powder. Stone tends to break up. Same with brick, but good ventilation is good. All right, I'm going to frame this up, and we're going to actually focus it this time. Let's switch to the webcam and see how far off I was. Okay, so actually not that bad. 95% power, 0.01 hatch, 500 millimeter speed, snap, crackle, pop. Yeah, that'll do it. So I wasn't super far off, but I was far enough off. It was a couple millimeters. So we're gonna run one just as it is, and then we'll do the for science glass making with Kyle. It's certainly looking a little more reactive now. Let's see. Gonna be honest, this is way better. So, take it from me, kids. Before you play with your tool, focus it. That looks a lot more accurate to what I was getting with my other lens before I converted these settings. Dark gray in the middle, light gray on the bottom, and like a tan white on top. So now with the with that answered, now we're gonna for science it. So let's go green. And I'm going to assign the dark gray to it. We're turning off all the outputs. And we're going to make it 0.1. And we're going to duplicate that. The moment we've all been waiting for. So we'll leave this one at 0.2. 100% power. So we're testing two things. One is just cranking the power like crazy, and the other is tightening the line distance. And in theory, we'll get glass somehow. So... oh, I'm a doofus. We need to change that. There we go. Do. There we go. So we're using my dark gray settings for both as a base. We changed this yellow side over to 100% power instead. We changed the green side to 0.01 line distance instead of 0.02. The moment that coaster and work plate become one. No, we're not doing that. Stay positive. If it goes wrong or spectacular, let's make sure it's actually centered. Okay, so no glass yet. Let's see if they look deep. Not really. Love how it sounds like a lightsaber. Yeah. Really makes the edge of that square pop. Well, we're halfway through drilling a hole through it. Oh, we're just for sciencing it. I'm not necessarily trying to deep engrave. We're just playing around at this point. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let me go shift the webcam so you guys can kind of see it. Move my fat head out of the way. So I'm not gonna lie, the one on the right looks clean as hell. The one on the left is kind of chunky. The one on the right, that 100% power is doing work. Alright, we came here to make glass, so we're gonna do it. By the way, that also means more or less that gray. If you want to just drill deeper to get texture out of it, crank up the power a little bit and do a couple of passes. And you now have some texture. How much does each coaster cost? These square ones that I'm messing with right now were... I think they were $367 at Michael's plus tax, something like that, for a 4-pack. So figure on about $1 each if you have to pay tax. Left equals Campbell soup. Chunky? Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna make one more square. We'll do it right next to the deep engraving. You know what? We're gonna make it a circle. Turn that layer on, turn those off. Assign dark gray. And we're gonna drop this speed down to 400. That should make some glass. I can go back, Kelly. Give me 1 sec. So for the deep engraving, that looks nice. On the right-hand side, well, the one closest to the camera, that's the yellow setting. That's our dark gray setting that we just cranked the power on and did a bunch of passes. The green one, we dropped the line distance to 0.01. The to every story is our, I believe, our white setting, and the 20 sides on the top, the text, is our medium gray. And I will, after we do the glass making episode of what we're doing right now, I'll go back and review those settings real quick too. So we're gonna start that. Yep. So I could show you guys this too. So on the right hand side there, you'll notice there's a square for a red dot or a red outline. It's because we're using bounds. If we go to hull, it's going to conform to the shape that we're working with. What's a good price to charge customers? Depends on what you're doing. $20 to $30 for a 4-pack isn't too far out of the range of normal. If you're doing it for people locally, it's going to depend on what the market will dictate is worthwhile. So you'll have to fuss with that a little bit. Depends on what you're doing. But anyways, and then contour is, in this case, going to show the same thing. But just thought I'd give you guys that as just the tip with Kyle tonight on Lightburn. So let's start that up. Well, you can see we're making glass. Let's do one more. Oop. I heard a pop. We're gonna give that a minute before we go over there. I don't want it to pop in my face. Need to do an episode on an indelible black image on a white tile using a fiber. I found a way, but it takes forever. I mean, we can maybe do that at some point. And it's not 100% repeatable. We'll mess with it maybe at some point. We'll see. We got a lot of planned episodes coming, so we'll see if we can get that in the list somewhere, maybe. Hit it again. It's glass, man. Alright. We'll hit it again. I'm making sure my chair is between me and the laser, though. John says, good morning, sir. Good morning. Alright, so let's go check out our glass. So, I don't know if it really came across in the webcam because I was like 5 feet the other direction, but as you can see, that's not what you want. But that mark is a nice deep mark. That came out wicked clean. Just a little bit of schmutz in there in the corner you could probably brush out with a brush, but and then this side, the square, is kind of ugly. So tightening the line distance does not generate a great outcome on that. So we for scienced. What do you guys think? Should we do one from JDS just so we can get an idea? No frequency changes on that. All of the frequencies, I believe, remain the same. Let's do one from JDS just so we can get a feel for if it's any different with the coding. So I'm going... would help if I had the right tool. We're going to get rid of those. We're going to turn on that, and that. And we're going to make sure Let's go light on top and medium on the bottom. Yeah. And we'll do so we'll do dark on this. And for the sake of depth, these are really thick, so I'm gonna get a nice beefy depth out of this one. We'll do 28 because 28 is my favorite number right now. Clean square settings for... Yeah. Looking for a 10. Give it a go. So... I'll test out a tan on the broken one after I do this one. My light gray and my white, depending on if I forget to focus my machine, can potentially produce like a little bit of a tan off color. So maybe we'll mess with that too for you. Okay. Now you'll... Rather than resize everything, I'm just going to select this. And I have cut selected graphics. And I'll see if it fits onto this one so I don't have to resize it for the sake of one-off. I'm glad I could inspire you, though. That's what I'm here for. Alright. Focus. That's what I'm forgetting. I almost did it again. Alright. Let's get you guys on the big screen. Thank you for the reminder, Kelly. We did. We caught it just in time. So Alex says, I bet this would look freaking sweet with Lightburn's 2.5D setup if you get the settings right. Yeah, I bet it would. If it's something we took away from tonight, if you want to do any kind of depth, you need high speed so that you're actually ablating stuff off and not just keeping stuff in place and heating it. But we're going to leave that one as is. So we'll switch to the camera. Give it a little wipey wipe. Alright. So I'll show you this one first. Actually, we're going to show you the last one we did first. I believe that's medium gray, white, and tan. No, dark gray, medium, and white. Something like that. In any event, it's not very clean looking. Look how clean that looks. And you can really tell the difference between the lighter gray and the white. And that dark gray still pops out even though we dug deep with it. We didn't have to do anything other than just multiple passes. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So, me too. I love the shadow and the dye too. And you know what? I think that's going to be really good for catching liquid that comes off of like a sweating glass. You could do some really cool work with this with like a mandala, like a flower design. A lot of cool stuff. Got the brain juices flowing. I need to get caught up on Lightburn episodes. Is it still only working with 2D boards? Yes, Jason. So as of right now, Lightburn is EasyCAD 2 only. They do not support Z-axis through software yet. But they're also not done working on it. So they've said they have a ways to go to get it to where they're happy with it. But it'll keep going. They did say that once they're done getting like the majority of EasyCAD 2 features going, they will look into EasyCAD 3, but they can't guarantee it yet, which is totally understandable. Why start another major project that took months and months and months and months and months before you're done with the first one, right? So, well, we've learned that coated slate looks way better. If you want to do a deep engrave on slate, you need speed. 0.02 seems like a happy line distance. Anybody got any questions before we head to bed, because it's 12:30? I'm assuming that's a no. So, we're going to call it a night here. I would gladly pay $1,000 for Lightburn for an EasyCAD 3 board. You are not the only one. If they can do it, I'm sure they will. But they're doing some crazy work getting it working with EasyCAD 2 to start. So I know they still have their hands full. They're still putting out updates super quick. So they'll look into EasyCAD 3 eventually, and hopefully they have news on that at some point. But we'll figure it out later. Alright, so hope you guys all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out and supporting the channel. If you're here and you're not part of the Discord, check out the Discord. Link's in the description. Our Facebook group link is in the description, both of which, if you guys need help with picking out a laser or having trouble with your laser, The community and all the staff are super helpful and try and help everybody out. And if you want to support the channel, it was dropped in the chat a couple times, but in the description below as well is a link to the Laser Master Academy. If you want to support the channel and get some extra goodies while you're there, you can check us out there. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Kelly. Alright, everybody have a great night. Take care. See you in the next one.